Hello and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be taking a look at this. The Sodor Steamy's Trackmaster push along 10-pack engine thing. Thomas and Trackmaster push along. This is a huge box. Like, I have my camera extended as far out as possible, and it's not even like that. I mean, it's so big and bulky and such. Anyway, so today we're going to be taking a look at these engines. I have Nia over there, and these, I got these two for $2.99 a piece. Nia, there was like abundance of them, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, so let's take a look at the back of this thing. Alright, so if we look at the back of this, it says what we have. It says, compatible, Trackmaster push along, has a picture of all the engines. Picture of all the engines and such. But yeah, this is a huge box. And, so we have all the engines. It says everything we have. If we look on the side, it shows all the engines, push along. Other side, it's the exact same. And this is called the Sodor Steamy. Create big adventures with fun push along engines. Each has a special part to play to help keep the island of Sodor running. So without further, look how loose those are in there. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm gonna go grab something to open this up with. Okay, let's just get into this. And we're gonna flip this around. My box is a little bit destroyed on some spots just because of shipping and, you know. I got this off of Amazon, but it came with a, I think I can just rip this open. Yeah. Anyway, this came with, this came in a Walmart box, but I ordered it off of Amazon. So my guess is that they actually got it from, Walmart, and it shipped through Amazon, which is good because that means we're supporting Amazon and Walmart at the same time. So it makes me feel a little bit not as bad. May I just say that these engines are very loosely in here. Like, they're not very well in here. Just not at all. Anyway, so let's start with two engines that are actually not terrible. I'm just kidding. We've got a Thomas, and we've got Nia. I'll put Nia back in there for a second, though. Move. Okay, so if we look here, I've actually got three Thomases. I've got one that I haven't opened. This one came in a windmill set, and this one I got. So, there's not really a whole lot of differences between these guys. Like, I can't really find any major differences. So, yeah. I don't know why I need two Thomases, but I've got three Thomases now, I guess. But, yeah, I figured I should get Nia and Thomas out of the way because I've already got these characters. And then we'll start taking a closer look at these. So, yeah. What's next? So now we've got Nia. These come out really easily, which I like. Because sometimes you see them and they come out really hard and stuff. It's like not easy to get. Okay, Nia by far is one of the heaviest. Yeah, again though, these things look exactly the same. I've got two Nias now. I really don't like having two Nias. But again, I got this for $2.99 or whatever I ended up paying. It wasn't a frick ton of money. Wasn't a whole lot. So anyway, we've got Nia. Again, I'll start taking a closer look next because now we got to get on to the next engines, which are these ones. Let's take a look at Percy. Okay, so Percy is there's some little like, oh, that just kind of rubs off. Okay, so the under chassis of them is marked, can you see it? 2018 Ghislaine Thomas Limited. 2018 Mattel, made in Thailand. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay, so these are definitely, so by the way, the wheels are a little bit of a different, well, they're appearing pretty bright, but they're the same color as Percy. This looks a lot like the Percy Adventures model, just with a bigger chassis. That's kind of what this looks like. In fact, that's kind of what all the models kind of look like. Rebecca is a little bit different, but all of the all of the ones that don't have a tender look a lot like their Adventure counterparts if they were given an Adventures model. Okay, so we got this little cheap hook. This thing is the major downfall, I think. This thing like bends in here and then you have to come in and fix it. It's not very hard to fix, but you got this cheap little coupling at the back. The coal is a lot like the Adventures one. Yeah, you just kind of got all of these little, like, just, I don't really know what to say about these things, but yeah, you've got Percy. And Percy has the black interior. You can't see in the cab. That's one thing I liked about older Take and Play, is you could see inside of the cab. Which, I mean, there was nothing in the cab. It was normally like some kind of pull or something holding up the cab. I mean, sorry, my dog was, that wasn't my dog. The neighbor's dog was barking. Anyway, so we've got this in here. We've got a plastic thing. The face looks pretty good. That looks like a Percy face. Let's get a little bit of a close-up of the face. Okay, so if we're just looking around the model, we've got, the paint looks pretty good. Sometimes you can find little defects in the paint, I guess. The plastic looks pretty good. Shiny, new. Not a bad model. Okay, so let's take a look at another engine. Let's take a look at Harold, because he is one of the most... One thing I must say is that Harold has not changed since Take and Play. I've got an Adventures one and a Take and Play Harold, and they all look the same. The only difference is every time they make a new Harold, it gets lighter and lighter. Because the other Harold is actually pretty heavy, but this one's actually pretty light. So, it's just kind of one of those things that's, if we look underneath this look underneath here real quick. I'm going to turn the... Okay, yeah, 2012 Mattel. So, since Mattel has taken over this line, Harold has been the same. It's probably even the same mold. I know that the Harold that I have, which was before Mattel took over, that one was pretty heavy. This one's actually much lighter than that one is. But what I'm guessing here, considering it says that, is every time they change it, because I think Take and Play ran for a little bit while when Mattel took it over. So my guess is that this is the same one they made back in 2012, and they just keep putting it with the new and new sets. Because what's the point of changing Harold? He doesn't have wheels or anything. And I gotta say, I'm kind of glad that they don't change Harold, because this isn't a bad Harold at all. I mean, this is the kind of I like this kind of Harold. The only real parts that are plastic is this. A lot of pieces are metal. So yeah, just kind of interesting thing here. But you cannot tell the difference between these except for maybe the weight or something. But yeah, that's Harold. Okay, now let's take a look at another character. Why don't we take a look at James? Okay, come on, James. Get out. Okay. We're going to put this to the side. And there goes Kevin. Alright, so let's look at... So James is pretty light. But his tender is like lighter than anything. It's all plastic. It's, is it a different color? Is it a different... Yeah, it is a different color than... I mean, it's just so light. But, whatever. I know some people don't like how James looks, or like some of the tender engines, because their wheels are so spaced out from each other, but personally, I like that James is long again. Like, he's supposed to be a longer engine, and I like how he looks in this. Especially, like, front on, I guess you can see how the wheels kind of stretch out. His cab is pretty short, but truthfully, you know what? I think it's better than the Adventures model. I don't like the Adventures model. It's just so short. I like that James is long again. And I really like his black model. I want to get introducing James. But yeah, let's take a closer look at the tender. Okay, so if we look at this, we've got We've got James. His wheels are really close together. This whole thing is just plastic, and it's a little bit. Is it a different color? I can't really tell. It might be a little bit of a different. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different color, but not a whole lot. The nice thing about this is the coal is actually, I like how the coal is on this one, because, like how it is on here on Percy, that's how it was with all the Adventures model, and granted, I only collected a couple of the Adventures, but anyway, so we've got James, it says James on there again, we have the coupling, this thing is light, I mean, but whatever, so James, he has that big space wheel in between them. We've got this. Just how bulky that is. Like, that's so much bigger than the Adventures. But I think they have to have it like that somehow to make it fit on the track. This thing would easily get blown away without, like, something. I don't know. It's weird because I like how James looks. I like that he's long again, but his wheels do definitely look a little bit weird. But overall, it's a decent model. So we'll just plop you right next to Nia James with Percy. And we'll turn that off, and then we'll just stick some there. Okay. Just trying to mess with my light here. Make it so we have it a little bit better. I need more lighting, don't I? Anyway, moving on. Why don't we take a look at Kevin? Straight up, I don't like Kevin. I like his Adventures model much more. Yeah, just, that barely moves at all. It moved a lot more in Adventures. Just, Adventures is a lot more better. Just, Kevin, I just don't like how Kevin looks. If we take a little bit of a closer look at Kevin. Whoa. Yeah, just taking a little bit of a closer look at Kevin. We've got this little piece, but this thing barely moves. Like, and this was a gripe that I think a lot of people had. If we bring them in right here and just try to, you can't even keep it up, but, yeah. I don't like the wheels, how they look. I guess that's dynamicing that they're, not, engines. What year does that say? That says 2000. Okay, so I think these are all going to say 2018 on them. But yeah, we've got some nice detail in there. The cab is definitely squashed a little bit, but up here, it doesn't look too bad. Down here, looks bad. He's supposed to have a bigger wheel and then a smaller wheel. And his Adventures model, I love his Adventures model. I use it for, like, my series and stuff. This, I don't recommend this. Don't buy this. I don't like this. Just maybe buy it if you really want it. But to me, this is one of the worst models out of all of them. If I had to pick a worst, it would definitely be this one. Okay, now let's grab another engine. Okay, let's take a look at a character that I have no merchandising for. And is the only, oh wow. Okay, so, Rebecca, is that the name? Yeah. Rebecca, I think, is a good character if she wasn't part of the Steam team. She could be a good side character. Nia, I think otherwise, but Rebecca is a good side character, not a Steam team replacement. Okay, so this top part right here is metal, but is this stuff plastic? I think that this is just plastic. Yeah. All of this down here is plastic. This is the metal part. So taking a little bit of a closer look at Nia, Rebecca, we've got all these rivets. Well, I don't know what those are, but they're crooked. I don't think that's a factory error because it's on both sides. We got the spaced out wheels again. I don't so much mind those spaced out wheels. We got this thing. What year does this say? 2018, made in Thailand. Okay. So we've still got these. The tender, just, this thing is all, it's a disappointment. It's all plastic, but, you know, the character doesn't look too bad. There's the face, lamp. This is the metal part. So yeah, not terrible. Not the best, but again, it's not terrible. The tender, if we take a closer look at this, we've got the NW Northwestern Railway. That's the island of Sodor, isn't it? This thing is a little plastic, but this has the most detail. We've got all the little details and stuff that you would need. We've got this little thing. Oh, by the way, all the buffers are backwards. See, no buffers. Buffers. But there's no buffers on that back, too. So, that's backwards, but you can't fix that. I don't know. The tender's supposed to be like this, isn't it? Yes. So, I guess what you could do is draw out that screw thing, flip it. But anyway, Nia's tender doesn't look terrible. Again, they're not terrible models. They're not the best models in the world, but they're not the worst. Alright, so yeah, there's Nia. So let's take a look at another character. Okay, so the next character that we got is Gordon. Or, as I call him in my series, Gore. Which, if I make shorts with these, is what it will be, because I want everything to be the same. Okay, tender. Okay, so taking a look at the tender again. Again, the tender's a lot like James's. In fact, they might actually be the same. If we look here. Are these the same tenders? Yes, they are. Okay, so these are basically the same tenders, just they're repainted. But truthfully, at least we get tenders, and they're not just blocks of wood that are supposed to be tended as tenders. Yes, Thomas Wood sucks. Anyway, so yeah, now let's take a look at the engine. Okay, so the engine is truthfully a lot like James, but I like these engines. I like how long he is. He actually is pretty long. We've got that paint thing right here. We've got decent, not bad. Buffers I like. I'll be painting them in black. Not a bad model. Okay, so let's grab another engine. Okay, there are two more engines to take a look at. Oh, sorry. The last two engines that we have to take a look at are the last two engines. Wait, so this is the second to last engine. It is Victor. So we've got Victor here. That's sanitizer. Don't worry, just some sanitizer. So yeah, he's got actually painted buffers. He's got the plate. I don't like Victor. I don't like his Adventures model because it doesn't run very well, but this one is very heavy actually. Very heavy and very short. Like he's very short. Like they made him really short, and they made him have big floppy wheels. I like how the wheels are in this case because it makes him better for running around because he can actually run on track now, and he's not going to get stuck all the time. But he's really short, and his back is like really, really heavy. Which I think it's because of the cab, probably bringing on a lot of weight. But he's really short and stubby. He's okay. He's not the best, but he's not the worst character ever. Just the way he looks, I think he's definitely up there with Kevin on, like, look. Like, he looks like him, but he's very short. Like, very, very short. So yeah. Let's put that over there. Okay, let's bring in the last model of the day. This is only part one. I'm going to have a part two coming up very soon. Anyway, so we've got Emily. Her tender is I like the tender, but they went back to that really weird coal. It's like a mixture between both of the different coal things. It's odd. I don't understand it entirely, but I think they did that with the shorter things of coal because she's got a water tank right there. So just looking at this, we've looked at all the tenders. They kind of just look the same, truthfully. But yeah, the last one, Emily. I thought Emily is okay, except her wheel. If she had her wheel like how it should be up in this area, then I think this would be a great model. Because the face looks good. I have an Adventures Emily, and I like Adventures Emily. But I truly think that this could be a great model if they gave her a bigger wheel. So, let's say if they take this wheel off, they gave her a bigger wheel, but left everything else the same, I think that'd be a great model, because we get the length of Emily back, and we get the wheel, which I think would be great. I don't so much mind the tenders being freaking plastic, it's whatever. You got the little coupling system right here. But yeah, that is Emily. So Nia, I know I didn't take a whole lot of look on. So, why don't I tell you what my opinion on? My opinion on these is that they're good. Some of them. Some of them are bad, some of them are good. I'm kind of split because, like, Emily could use a couple adjustments. They could all use some adjustments. But in total, I think that, except for Victor and Kevin, most of the models look good, but they need adjustments. Some of them are gosh awful and need a complete makeover for me to even think that they're good. Because, like, these two are not good. These ones are all good and stuff. But anyway, that's kind of my opinion. And I'm going to be making a series with these. I was just waiting to get the rest of these. And until next time, this has been Random Videos High. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.